right, hi and welcome in. We're going to be working on my 99 BMW Z3 M Coupe today. This video, we're going to document the headliner reupholstery process. We're going to go through the uninstallation of the headliner itself. I'll go through all the materials, everything I use to rewrap the headliner, the A pillar, the C pillar, and then I'll show you how I went ahead and got the headliners back in the car. It is not through the back. It is not through either side of the doors with either seat out. I'm not sure how anybody else has been able to do that without damaging the headliner once it's been reupholstered. But my experience, which was a surprise to me, maybe it's a surprise to you, but something you should know is the front glass needs to come out of the car in order to successfully put back a headliner. So this is a surprise cost to maybe some people, myself included. So some people that might be shopping for an M Coupe or a Z3 Coupe and it might have a failed headliner or sagging headliner and they're thinking about reupholstering it and redoing it. It is not a couple $100 job in order for it to be done correctly and properly. So budget that accordingly. If you're looking at a used car and it has a failing headliner, unless you're okay with that thing flapping around, I would suggest figuring out the cost of this applied against your purchase price. So I'll add all that up for you guys. I'm not going to put in there my labor cost because I redid the headliner, but I will go over what the labor cost was for the glass coming out of the car and being reinstalled, as well as all of the cost of the materials so that you have a rough idea of what it would be. So enjoy, welcome in, and I'll get started.
I chose to start at the rear of the car on this. In the back there are two expanding clips. So you'll need to pull out the center part that expands them and remove those. And then the rear two speaker grills just pull straight down and out, as well as the front tweeter portion of it will have access from behind for you to just push that through. The rear mounts for the cargo upright mesh divider and hanger hook have one Phillips head and centering pin in each one. You'll need just a pick tool to pull down the cargo dome light, which is just pressure fit in place, and there's one wiring connection to disable. The passenger side grab handle has two plastic covers, which are just pressure fit in place, and they will reveal two Phillips head screws. After removing those two screws, there are two plastic mounts with expanding fitments and alignment pins. The driver's side grab handle area has the same two blank plastic covers, which can be revealed by pulling them back on each side, and then there's one Phillips head screw behind each one. The driver's side visor, you'll want to pull this back out of the way. It'll reveal the inner clamp mounting point, which has two plastic covers, and once you pull those back, it'll reveal two Phillips head screws. The inner pivoting mounting point has three T20 Torx screws. Once you remove all three of those, you'll be able to remove the visor from the car. The passenger side of this is exactly the same, so just rinse and repeat. Moving along to the front dome and map light assembly, this is just held in place by pressure fitment, and you can use a non-marring tool to help pry this out. Once you remove it, there's one wired connection to disassemble, and this will give you access to reach your hand inside that hole and push out the sunroof tilt switch, and then again there's one wired connection to remove. Both the left and the rear side windows have a plastic trim finishing panel that has three clips that connect it to the roof and also will hold some of the weight of the headliner. Just be careful when pulling these away that you don't scratch the glass or break the plastic trim. You're almost done at this point, and the only thing holding the headliner still in place is the door seals on both the left and right side, as well as the door seal around the rear hatch opening. You're going to want to just peel back some of the door seal area and allow the headliner to start to come down. I had read on lots of forums and discussion groups that you can get this headliner out through the passenger side opening with the seat removed, but I couldn't get a way of getting this thing out without folding this severely in half, and I didn't want to crease it that much. So the best way is to just slightly bend it and pull it out of the back rear hatch opening. We'll talk about the reinstallation process later in this video, but basically the only way to get this to go back in without creasing this headliner is through the front windshield. Here's the final result of having everything removed. The A, B, and C pillars are out of the car, as well as the headliner, and now everything is exposed. Here's a quick look at the A, B, and C pillars, and as you can see on the A and C pillars, they were starting to delaminate and separate. The B pillars are just a plastic material, and I had given some consideration to rewrapping these, but the seatbelt sliders probably wouldn't slide easily. Here's the start of the reupholstery process, and take note of how I have the panels laid out. You're going to want the headliner and the A and C pillars to run in the same length so that when it comes time to wrapping these, there aren't any 90-degree seam edges in which the two fabrics line up and create a different contrasting look. I'll put a link in the description, but this headliner material is sourced from a company called Headliner Express. It is my 5th headliner I've done on older BMWs, and they offer 2 different factory original anthracites and a non-original anthracite. You're going to want to spec for the factory original, as that material is the closest thing to the OEM material I have seen. There are some great contact adhesive solutions, but I'm using this Stay Put 773-40 adhesive, but I'll put a link in the description to both this product and some 3M products. We're going to go around the headliner with it facing down so that we can spray all of the outer edges so that we can wrap the material around the headliner and get contact. After that, we'll flip over the headliner and start to apply an even coating to the entire top layer surface, and then we'll start to specialize in some of the areas around the cracks and crevices to make sure we have extra contact adhesion there for the material to sit into and hold tightly. Once we've done the headliner itself, we can actually go back to the material and face it down and add some contact adhesive to the back padded area and get ready to lay this down and start wrapping the headliner. We're going to start the process by starting in the very middle of the headliner. There's a raised hump area in mine because I have a sunroof equipped car, so this part covers the motor. If you have a sunroof delete car, you won't have that to worry about, but basically start working your way from the center out to the edges. The hardest part on this car to get right is the material around the 2 rear speaker humps. After that, it's just a matter of pushing the material around the edges and wrapping that over, as well as carving out some of the detail pieces around where the sun visor openings are and the 2 areas where the handles go. Once you have all that done, you can start going around all the edges and pulling them over and cutting away some of the extra material, and then pushing back the material again to the edge to make sure it's securely tightened in place. Okay, we've trimmed around the sunroof opening, all the outside edges, and around the upper rear speaker portions. So now we can flip this over, give it a final inspection, blow everything off of it, and then we can lay it out in the sun for some curing processing time. So let's move over to the A and C pillars. We'll start on the C pillars, and remember, we're keeping the direction of the material in line with the headliner. We are basically repeating the same exact process here, where we're going to spray the outer edges of the panel facing down, and then we'll flip it over and spray all of the front facing part of the panel, and then go back and respray the fabric portion and then reattach this. We'll go around and edge everything out and then come back around and make our final cuts and trimming. And then we'll just take an air gun to this to blow off any of the debris, and these will be ready for reinstallation. Last part will be on to the A-pillars. I'll let you guys go through this again in high speed, but same thing, keep attention to putting these A-pillars in the same line and direction as what the headliner and the C-pillars were installed and cut out like. Here is my failed attempt at trying to get the headliner in through the rear cargo opening. I don't have a video of trying to get it through the door opening, but in this particular part, I was trying to bend this slightly in half to get it through the opening, and all it did was crease the headliner. Okay, moment of truth. I don't know how anybody gets this in through the side window or through the back hatch. I already messed up one of these and had to redo it, and I was replacing the front windshield, so this is the only way I could get this put back in without damaging it.
So I'll give you an all-in number. It is not a couple $100 thing where it's going to be super cheap and you can do this really inexpensively on your own. In order to make it right, in order to make it perfect, this is a headliner replacement cost. This is the A and C pillars. You might as well while they're there. I can't imagine the glue's in that good of shape anymore. So A pillar, C pillar, headliner, and then at this point you're redoing the glass, you're redoing the seals, you're doing cowl covering, and then you might as well get yourself some new wiper arms. Do a full job, start to finish, make it right. You're not going to regret it. It's just not going to be cheap. So again, if you're price shopping a used coupe and it needs a headliner, factor that in. It's not cheap.
Here we are put back together. We have the new glass installed with the new window seal all around. This is the OEM window seal and OEM glass. And we have a new OEM cowl scoop on here with new OEM wiper arms. I'm telling you, this is really a nice touch and super detail to bring out the preservation and the restoration of the car. Again, my experience with this fabric that Headliner Express offers is it has just the right amount of texture and a backing to the fabric itself that it takes up all the imperfections of the cardboard that make up the headliner structure, and the feel and the touch and coloring just really is second to none in terms of trying to compare to a OEM quality build. Alright, I hope this was helpful for everybody considering doing a headliner restoration on their BMW Z3 M Coupe or regular coupe. Thanks so much everyone for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and feel free to share this video with everyone. I'm on to the next one.